Welcome, Marion Reneau here to the program. Getting ready to fight Ashley Evans Smith. Come up here at UFC Fight Night 83. It's on February 21st. So I'm assuming you're leaving tonight, tomorrow?
Tomorrow, bright and early in the morning, 6 o'clock. Woohoo!
Oh, good for you. So you have to get up like at 4.
Yeah, I hate that. I'm not a morning person at all, but I was like, okay, I got to do it. I can sleep on the plane.
What airport they have you flying out of?
Fresno, so it's not too far. It's about an hour away.
Okay, so, I mean, out of LAX, getting to Pittsburgh, you can pretty much take a direct flight. But coming out of Fresno, where do you have to go? Is there a bunch of hops?
Arizona, and then from Arizona to Pittsburgh.
The reason why I ask is because usually when you're sitting, you're trying to rest and you're trying to recuperate from a long workout. But you're getting up really early in the morning and then flying all day. You're going to be sitting all day. Do you have a plan to like counteract just sitting on your butt for, really, it's going to be like, what, 5, 7 hours, 8 hours?
Oh, I keep active. So during the flight, if I have to get up, I'll get up and go to the back of the plane and do some squats. Believe it or not, I'll be in the plane like just lunge walking up and down the aisle, or I just keep moving in some way, shape, or form. And so when we stop in Arizona, I'll probably end up doing just like a little mini circuit, or doing some jujitsu on the ground, some jujitsu warm up, something like that, just to keep moving, the blood flowing, because I hate that stagnant feeling of just sitting all day, and it's cramped sitting. It's not like luxury, your legs are out sitting, it's cramped.
Yeah, I don't, it's super tough trying to fly cross country, especially when you're an athlete, because you're so used to moving and being ready to go. And if you, like you said, if you're resting, your feet are up, you're laying back, you got your thumb on the remote control, and you're trying to relax, like on a plane is not the best way. Plus, you say you're not a morning person. I'll assume you get a couple hours of sleep maybe on the Phoenix to Pittsburgh flight.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I mean, the best sleep you can get on an airplane, but I'll for the most part, I'll try to rest my eyes for a little bit.
So what's the diet going to be like while you're flying? Because airplane food sucks, which means, of course, now it's so expensive, it's better off for you to bring your own. Are you going to pack and prep food and then bring it through security with you, or you have to buy stuff there?
No, I will prep some food, not liquids because they don't let liquids go through, but I can prep some snacks with me, which I will do. And that way I can snack on my food. Plus, I don't really like eating. So when I'm training for a fight camp, I won't eat out at all. I will only eat food that I've cooked, and which makes it difficult for when we do plan on going to Pittsburgh. I have to find things that I can make in my hotel. So I have a little propane stove, and I cook, I go grocery shopping, and I try to cook some stuff for myself. That way I'm still with my cooking, my oils, my seasoning.
It's Sean Shirk years ago. I'm going back probably 15 years ago. Was like, hey, when you go on these trips, you got to take a George Foreman grill with you. And so I'd end up, because of Sean explained this to me, I took it with me every time I travel and start cooking my own food. Whatever I could cook in a hot pot, a hot pan, and a George Foreman grill would go in my suitcase, and that's how I would eat, when I was on the road. It sounds like you're doing the same kind of thing. How tough is it to find the right foods, though? Because you're going to be in a hotel that may not be, a good enough grocery store close by for you to buy the proper food for you.
Well, I think it's better than, say, Brazil. So when I went to Brazil, I mean, it was difficult trying to find foods for myself because, first off, I couldn't read half of the stuff that they said. I didn't understand it, or their Gatorade is different than ours. So I think Pittsburgh's going to be a little bit easier to find foods to eat, and I keep it really simple during the fight week until my fight. So the vegetables, the chickens, those are simple for me, and they're easier to cook.
Before we start talking about Ashley Smith, your opponent, I want to talk about Holly Holm real quick, who obviously has burst on the scene by being Ronda Rousey, like just incredible now. Of course, Ronda today earlier came out, how hard it was for her to deal with this loss, on the Ellen show. It's been the big talk. You obviously, your last fight was with Holly, and you end up losing a decision to her. Did it surprise you that Holly beat Ronda so, what to us at least, at home on the couch, looks so easy?
No. Not at all. I actually called it. I said Holly is going to win by a knockout with her foot. She's going to kick her in the head and she's going to knock her out. I called it.
There was a friend of mine, Jeff Cadiente, actually said the exact same thing to me, that Holly's going to win by kick. And I was adamant that Holly's going to get through the first round, but Ronda's going to catch her in the second and put her down. And she's finally going to catch her, get on top of her, and she's going to find a way to submit her just like Ronda does. I was animate, 100% positive. I was correct in my prediction. You two obviously saw something that I'm missing on her. Mm-hmm. Her kicks are way better than her striking, obviously. And she's known as a boxer, so you'd think that her hands would be her best attribute, but her legs are actually the best attribute. Did you see that when you were preparing for the fight with her, that her kicks are going to be the most devastating part of her?
I knew that. I knew without a shot. I mean, look at her previous fights. She had many knockouts with her kicks. And if you look at her legs, they look pretty strong. And having had fought her and taken a couple of those kicks, they hurt, even though I blocked the ones to my face. You should have seen my arm afterwards. I mean, it was really swollen. And that's something that Ronda has never had to do. She has never had to block a kick, because usually if you kick her, she's going to catch your leg. So she's never really, I don't know, possibly trained to get kicks to the face, kicks to the head. And that was something that I saw that Holly could capitalize on rather quickly.
See, and the reason why I didn't really, and I have yet to apologize to Holly, but I have to next time I speak with her, that I didn't respect her kicks as much, because the quality of competition that she was hitting before really wasn't that good of competition compared to her, because she's had so much professional experience as a boxer. I was just chalking it off to, like, she just has better timing because, she just knows where to put the strikes and what have you. And then when I saw that fight with you, I was like, well, all right, I'm not sold. I see it, but I'm not sold yet. And then now, obviously, I'm sold. And you telling me now, I'm like, well, I have no choice. I have to be sold on her kicks. I have no choice at this point.
Yeah. I mean, if you took one of her kicks, I mean, just shin to forearm, it was just one of those things that then the very next day, my forearm, I couldn't close my fist because my forearm was so swollen. It felt like my muscle wanted to escape my skin.
That's crazy. So it's a loss. I know it's tough for you to do with a loss. You've only had 2 losses out of your 8 fights, so it's not like this is something you deal with all the time. How much did you learn from the Holly Holm fight, getting prepared, getting ready for Ashley Evans Smith?
I've learned so much. And the thing is, when you look at a loss, if you're not learning from it, then you're not really experiencing what you need to experience, to humble yourself and learn from. So I did learn a lot from it. I learned a lot mentally approaching a big fight such as that. I've learned a lot as preparation, and I've learned a lot about what my body can take and what it can't take as far as training and when I need to rest, So, and that was my hardest part of the training camp, and it's been for all my training camps, is rest. Is I need to rest more. I need to think as rest as my recovery, and I'm not doing that as much. And I didn't do it hardly at all for Holly, but I did for this camp, and I feel great.
So what do you see in Ashley that she got coming up? How do you see her? Because you've obviously seen tape on her. You've obviously broken her down to prepare. Like, how do you see her as an overall opponent, and how do you think this fight's going to go?
I think she's a gamer. I honestly think she's gonna come forward. She's gonna try to push the pace. I just see her nonstop. I mean, she is a wrestler from what I've been told. She does have that mentality, and so I worked a lot this camp with wrestlers. And I see obviously myself being the victor, but I have to go in there and impose my will in order to get that done.
Now, both of you are coming off losses. Does this make you feel like that your back might be against the wall a little bit? Because if you lose this one, or if she loses this one, they might be out. You might be out of the UFC, or do you feel like, was the UFC never giving you any indication of that at all? That, like, don't worry about it. As long as you put on a good show, a good fight, no matter what, you're gonna end up staying in.
I don't try to worry about all that stuff that I can't control. I can't control what they think. I can't control what they plan to do or what their reactions. I cannot control that. It's gonna go how it's gonna go. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you know what to do or not to do. It's up to you. I can't control them.
I love your attitude. I've always been a big fan of yours since I first got to see you about 4 fights ago, start fighting. So I'm a big fan. Thanks so much for coming on here. I'm glad Amanda got us hooked up. It's been a real honor for me to finally get to interview you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on too. And it's no problem making time for you. I know she wanted to do it tomorrow. I was like, well, I'm going to be flying all day tomorrow. I don't know if I have time, but this was perfect. Thank you so much.
It worked out for me perfectly as well. I'm glad everything synced up.
Okay.
Take care. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. You too. Thanks. Bye bye.